Hello. Welcome back or welcome to Morning Ray. I'm your host, Lan or Allana, and this is part 2 of your Hot Girl Spring Guidebook. Today we are covering friendships and dating. Today we're covering mindsets that you should have, that you should embody and work towards when it comes to your friendships and dating. On Monday or Tuesday, ended up going up on the last episode, the previous episode, part 1. We focused on mindsets surrounding career and wellness. I'm super excited to dive into the friendship and dating relationship portion of this episode. It's something I've definitely been focusing more on and trying to learn how to be a better friend, a better communicator, setting boundaries, decentering dating and relationships, romantic relationships, and also not putting so much pressure on it. And I feel like as someone who is in their mid-20s, I have enough grounds to speak on my experiences, my learnings, how I have changed and grown, and just my different perspectives and the mindsets I'm embodying, especially entering into spring and summer of 2025. Starting off with friendships. I am someone that believes quality over quantity. I would way rather have few solid friends over a large circle. It's better to have a few genuine friendships than a crowd of acquaintances. I've been there. I've had a large circle of acquaintances and you feel more lonely than ever when you never have that person, or you don't have those people that you can really lean on, that really know you, that really care about you, that it's a really strong and deep friendship. It can feel really isolating and make you feel more alone. I have really learned I rather have a really small, close circle. I do have a lot of acquaintances, for lack of better words. But in terms of like my core inner circle, it's quite small. I like to keep it that way. I don't really have a friend group per se. I more so have like clusters of really close friends in different places of my life. And I have friends kind of for different things. I'm trying to find my zipper. I think energy matters. What the hell? I think energy matters so much when it comes to friendship, even in relationships. It is so important to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you and don't drain you. You shouldn't walk away from an interaction with a person, from hanging out with a friend, leaving you feeling worse off, tired, down, worse off about yourself, negative about yourself. Like, you should feel energized, you should feel inspired, and that doesn't mean these friends aren't ever going to be super upfront with you and tell you things you might not want to hear, but when they do, they still do it with care. You should feel really good and energized while being surrounded with friends who you consider like your inner core, your inner circle. There should be a mutual effort and respect. Friendship should be reciprocal. It should be an even give and take. Obviously, there's periods that you go through in your friendships where one friend might be giving more and the other one's taking more, and vice versa. But overall, if you were to like look at the friendship as a whole throughout the whole timeline duration of the friendship, it should feel pretty even. You should be giving and taking 50-50 between you and that person. You should also be able to respect each other's growth. Like, true friendships celebrate your success. They don't view it as a threat. They don't view it as competition. They're as excited for you as if it was their own success, and they're not threatened by it. They don't think it takes away from their ability to be successful. In fact, it inspires them and it motivates them to go after their own successes and goals and dreams and aspirations more. You also should be supporting each other's boundaries. In healthy friendships, you respect personal spaces and limits and don't try to push past it. Like, if your friend communicates that something makes you uncomfortable, you respect that in return. That should just be like the baseline for a healthy friendship that has mutual effort and respect. Point blank. Authenticity is so key. If you are not being yourself around your friends, then those aren't your people. Like, you should be able to be so true and wholeheartedly yourself and be comfortable enough to be vulnerable and not feel this need to kind of shape yourself to be a certain way, to have a certain persona, to dress a certain way, act a certain way, to like certain things in order to fit in with these friends and to be valued and trusted and accepted by these people. The right friends will love you for who you truly are. You won't have to merge to be into this image of what you expect yourself to be for them. They don't require you to change or prove yourself. Real friendships allow you to be open, to be vulnerable, to create those deeper bonds. You need to be vulnerable in order to create a deeper friendship. If everything is always surface level, you're never going to have that deeper bond with that person. When I think of some of my closest friends, the reason why we are so close is because we've had these conversations where we've been open about our insecurities, our vulnerabilities. We've talked about even the darkest parts of us. We don't hide away, or we're not shameful. We don't judge. We're there for one another, and you kind of bond over being vulnerable and opening up with one another the same way you would in a romantic relationship. It is normal to have conflict in a relationship, in a friendship, but growth is essential when it comes to this. You need to learn how to address issues directly and maturely. Gossiping about it won't fix things, but honest conversations will. So even though these conversations are hard, they're scary, they may be anxiety provoking, they are so important, because if you can't be open and honest with your friend that something they did or said or how they acted hurt you or upset you, then that is not a true friend. Like, you should be able to feel comfortable enough to be open with them, and you should be able to work through this together. Not everything is always going to be so good and cheerful. Like, obviously you shouldn't be getting into fights all the time and disagreements, and your friend shouldn't be hurting or upset you all the time. And if that is the case, then I think maybe it's time to really consider if this friendship is worth keeping and worth keeping so close to you. But it is important to be able to have those hard conversations. Again, not every friendship is meant to last. If it's a consistent bickering, a consistent fighting, constantly you're putting each other down, it's not a healthy relationship. Some friendships have seasons, and that's okay. And maybe you'll come back to each other in time after taking space away, or maybe you won't. But it's also important to remember that forgiveness is important, and so are boundaries. Like, learn to differentiate the difference between mistakes and patterns of toxic behavior. Because I have friends where we've definitely have had disagreements. We've had to have these hard conversations, and they've kind of been just like one-off scenarios or situations where we've hurt one another. And so those are the friendships that I keep and I work on, and we work through these things and we communicate and we set boundaries and we apologize, etc. But I've also have had friends where I've had to ask for space, and I've had to kind of make the call after realizing that, like, this isn't just a mistake anymore. This is a toxic pattern of behavior, and I'm continuously being disrespected by this person. I'm being belittled by this person. The only way to make it go away is if I apologize time and time again, even if I wasn't necessarily wrong in all of those circumstances and those situations. That person's not taking any accountability for their actions. I don't think I'm a perfect person. I know I've made mistakes. I know I've made my wrongs when it's come to friendships, relationships, etc. But there's a time and a place, and it's about learning when it's a behavior is a pattern and it's toxic, and knowing when to step away versus knowing when it's appropriate to talk about it, to work through it, to move and to grow together. You will know if a friendship is no longer healthy, that it needs to come to an end. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's a forever end. You can always revisit a conversation with that person in the future if it's appropriate, if you feel comfortable doing that. And I have done that before with friends. Sometimes you grow apart to come back together again. But I think it's important to be able to differentiate the difference between a mistake and a toxic pattern of behavior. There is an importance of independence and self-love in friendships the same way there is in relationships. You don't need to be available 24/7 to your friends. Healthy friendships respect personal time. You also need to know that you are enough on your own. Friendships are a bonus, not a requirement for happiness. Obviously, humans are meant to have community, we're meant to have support systems and people to rely on, but having more friends doesn't equate to equal more happiness. Like, you are enough on your own. Your friends and your relationships are kind of like a bonus to that. They add into your life. It's also like, know that it's okay to outgrow people. Like, as you evolve and change as a human, especially if you're someone that's continuously working on themselves and trying to work on bettering themselves, like, sometimes we outgrow people. Growth means change, and not everyone will come along for the journey. Sometimes people are part of our life for a season, they come into our life for a reason. We don't all grow at the same pace and in the same direction, and that's okay. Like, that is truly okay. Like, there's a reason why a lot of us, especially girls, are not friends with the same people we were when we're younger. And I was talking about this with my therapist the other day. Because I grew up not having a super tight relationship or much of a relationship with my older sister due to being 8 years apart, I often looked for that big sister dynamic in my friendships. And I would go to my friends for advice a lot. And like, anytime I came to speak to them for anything, about anything, I was looking for guidance and their opinions. But as I've gotten older, I've learned how to make decisions on my own, to make judgment calls on my own. And I no longer need that necessarily that big sister dynamic from all of my friends. I see my friends more so as equals. And in picking friends as an adult, I pick friends very differently than how I did when I was younger. And that's okay. And like, some of my friends from when I was younger, I've definitely like outgrown, and we come back together, or they outgrew me, vice versa, or maybe we just like didn't see eye to eye anymore. But that's okay. Like, it's okay to change the way in which you pick friends and the types of friends that you have, and it's okay to outgrow people. It's not bad. Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. Jealousy and competition in friendships. I feel like this is something I've been struggling a bit lately with some people. And I think it's also something I've noticed in like with some of my friends and their relationships outside of me, and things that they're dealing with as well. And I think it's also a conversation online a lot. But when it comes to jealousy and competition, a lot of the times jealousy is the projection of someone's insecurity onto you. If someone is jealous of you, they're jealous of what you have, they want what you have, and so it gets projected as to jealousy on you. They may see you as competition because you are doing something that they want to achieve but feel that they can't, or they haven't been able to. And then they see you as a competition because they want that thing, and you're both working towards the same thing. It is so important to be able to recognize insecurities, because sometimes that jealousy stems from that insecurity and it's from their own struggles, and it's not a reflection of you. And it's so easy to just blame yourself, but it's not because of you. It's simply them projecting their insecurities onto you, and you need to be able to separate that and just like let it be and acknowledge it and let it go and try to help. You can try to help them navigate that, but at the end of the day, it's not really your responsibility. That's a them thing, and it's a thing that they have to work on. And you can try to encourage your friends to have a growth mindset, like I discussed in the previous episode when it comes to career. Remind them that success isn't a competition. There is enough room for all of you to work towards whatever it is, whether it's in the same sort of thing or different. There is enough room for everyone. There's enough room on all of our paths to achieve whatever it is that we want to achieve. Friend A achieving success does not take away from friend B, C, D, etc.'s success at all. We can all be successful together. We can all uplift one another. There is enough room for everyone. One person's success does not take away. There's not like a definite amount of success. Success is infinite. You need to have that growth, abundance mindset. And I think the best thing you can do in a friendship that is starting to feel a little competitive is to remind your friend of that. There's enough room for both of us. It's amazing that we can both work towards achieving this thing. I want you to succeed with me. Like, we're working together to do this. And like, my success or me achieving XYZ does not take away from what you're working towards. If the insecurities and the jealousy and the competition is coming too much, if it turns toxic, you may need to take space. You may need to distance yourself, and that is okay. You need to protect your peace. You need to set that boundary. There's at a point that it turns and it's no longer healthy. It becomes toxic, and that's not worth your energy. It's not worth letting that drain you. I've gotten some questions when it comes to drifting apart with friendships, because sometimes, like I said, we grow apart. You need to accept that sometimes friendships just change as we get older, as we go through different life stages, as we go from college to work. Some people come into relationships. The dynamic of the relationship, of your friendship, can shift, and that's okay. Make an effort if you want to keep the friendship. Find time to connect. Ask them, like, when are you free? When can I pencil you into my calendar? But let it go if it feels forced. If you feel like you're constantly reaching out and they're not reciprocating it, going back to like, it needs to be equal reciprocation of energy, you need to have equal give and take, then just let it go. Friendship should feel natural. It shouldn't feel like a chore. It shouldn't feel forced. Just let it go, and if it's meant to be, it will come back to you. When it comes to dealing with toxic friendships, and I'm sure we can all relate to this, unfortunately, it is really important to start with identifying those toxic patterns. Do they guilt trip? Do they manipulate? Are they constantly bringing up drama? Do you feel like you're constantly like in a fight or walking on eggshells around that person? Those are toxic patterns. Your best friend, your friend should not be guilt tripping you. They should not be trying to manipulate you. They should not be making you feel bad. They should not be trying to start fights with you. They should not be talking down to you. They should not be making you feel insecure or bad about yourself. That's not healthy. That's toxic. And when you realize that, you need to set clear boundaries. You need to limit your emotional investment in that relationship. You need to take space for yourself. Do what you need to do. And learn to walk away without guilt. If they don't respect your boundaries, it is okay to move on. Set those boundaries, communicate, take a step back, wait and see if their actions change. Follow actions, not words, although it could be the words that are hurting you, but like, follow their actions. If nothing changes, if they're not respecting your boundaries, that is not your friend. Your friend will want to respect your boundaries. They will want to work with you, not against you. They will want to lift you up, not tear you down. And unfortunately, I find this happens a lot with girls. Girls can be envious, they can be mean, they can be rude, they can be ruthless, but I want to remind you that there are also very healthy female friendships out there, and I want that for you this spring. I want that for you in life in general and moving forward if you don't have that. So learn to set your boundaries, lead and treat others the way you want to be treated and the way you want to be met in your relationships and your friendships. And eventually you will find your people if you don't have them already. When it comes to conflict and misunderstandings, I want you to pause before reacting. Avoid responding emotionally in the heat of the moment. Take a step back, take a deep breath in, hold, exhale out, and then you can respond. It is so easy to want to respond in the heat of the moment, to let our emotions fuel our judgment, but you are going to regret it. Take a moment, let the heat fall, let it simmer down, well, not simmer down, cool down. And then talk in person or on a call. Text can be misinterpreted. There's no tone. They might view your text wrong. It gives them too much time to respond. You want to meet face to face, ideally. And as much as I hate doing this, I know it's always the best answer and the best way to do it. And sometimes I know I can be a bit stubborn when it comes to this, but also a lot of the times I just need space to like cool down and really like think through my thoughts so I can have rational responses and communicate without so much emotion in it, which can be really hard for me. But also know, if you're having a conflict and misunderstanding with someone, know when to take responsibility and apologize if you know you're wrong. It shows maturity. It shows emotional awareness. It shows awareness of your actions. And it's important because We're all not perfect. A lot of us are going to make, all of us actually, are going to make mistakes. We're going to be wrong sometimes. We might do something that hurts our friend that we don't mean to come across that way. Sometimes we can be a bit selfish, but take ownership over it. And if you are willing to meet your friend and communicate with them and are open to hearing how that made them feel and vice versa, like, that just shows that you care. It shows that you care and that you want to change things and make things better. So pause before reacting. Talk it out in person or on a phone call or on FaceTime, and know when to apologize. But also don't apologize if you know you weren't wrong. But I really want to encourage you to really reflect, look at the situation, look at your actions, look at the circumstances from an outside perspective, like take yourself out of body and try to perceive it from every single different viewpoint. Talk it out with yourself, write in your journal, maybe talk to your therapist. Try not to talk about this with every single friend, especially friends that are friends with each other. Build confidence in your ability to make judgment calls on your own. You don't need to voice this to everyone. Learn to be able to make judgment calls and to reflect and do this on your own. Dating. Our mindsets in dating for this hot girl spring. Your self-worth comes first. You are truly enough on your own. A relationship should add to your life. It shouldn't complete it. You should feel fulfilled and like your best self before adding someone else in. A man, a partner is simply an accessory. Never settle for less than what you know you deserve. Love should be healthy, respectful, and fulfilling. If it's anything less than that, I don't want you to want it. You don't want it. You don't want hot and cold. You don't want someone that disrespects you and doesn't see your value, doesn't see your worth, doesn't treat you like the angel that you are. Confidence is so attractive. And confidence has nothing to do with vanity. It has everything to do with how you hold yourself, how you communicate, the boundaries that you set. Knowing your value sets the tone for how others treat you. If you don't have respect for yourself, how can you expect someone else to respect you? Think about it. Intentional dating versus dating just to date. Determine what you want. Maybe you want casual dating. Maybe you want something long-term. Be clear with yourself and others. If you want something long-term and serious, don't just agree to the hookup, casual, friends with benefits situationship. That's only going to take away time and energy that you could be giving to the person that wants that long-term relationship with you, that wants to commit to you, that wants to be monogamous with you. Date with standards, not a checklist. Focus on values and character traits over superficial traits. Oh my God, over superficial traits. I'm going Delulu over here. Focus on, how do I feel when I'm around this person? Do they treat me right? Do they respect me? Are they kind? Are they nice? Do they have family values? Are they a good person? Would I want to introduce them to my parents? Would I want them to raise my children? Would you want your daughter to date that person? Would you want your daughter to bring this person home? Would you accept this partner for your younger self? The answer is no. Bye-bye. Send them away. It is okay to walk away. If someone doesn't align with your goals, don't force it. It's only, again, taking away time from you having with the person that you're meant to be with. Boundaries are so essential. Emotional and physical boundaries matter. They are hot. They are sexy. Pay attention to red flags. Inconsistency, manipulation, disrespect is not okay, and I won't let any of you put up with that any further. The minute someone is hot and cold, that they are showing signs of this, walk away. Walk the fuck away. Communicate clearly. Set expectations early to avoid misunderstandings. And just really hold on your boundaries. Don't just let someone walk all over the boundaries for the sake of having someone interested in you, for the sake of being in a relationship, a talking stage, whatever it is. Give yourself the attention you are seeking. Your self-worth comes first. Remember that. You are your own biggest asset. Protect your peace, protect your sanity. Don't give people access to you that don't deserve it. Truly, truly don't. Know your worth. Take your time. There truly is no need to rush. There's no specific timeline that you should be on, that you're setting for yourself or society is setting for yourself. Let people show you who they are. Follow actions, not words. I like to watch and see and observe what they're doing as opposed to believing all the nonsense, because a man will say whatever the hell they want to say. Heck, a girl will say it too. So follow actions, not words. Those will show their true intentions. And enjoy the process. Dating should be fun. It shouldn't be stressful. It shouldn't be anxiety inducing. It's okay to get a little nervous, but like if you're having intense butterflies, that is your gut. That is your gut saying to run the fuck away. Anytime I've been insanely nervous before dates, it's usually been, I should have ran. I should have run the other direction. I shouldn't have continued to see them. That was not the green light. That was the red light. Rejection is truly redirection. If someone isn't interested in you, it's not a reflection of your worth. They're just truly not for you. Move on with grace. The right person will choose you without hesitation. They won't make you question things. You won't be confused. It will be clear as day. Emotional independence. Don't lose yourself in a relationship. Maintain your own hobbies, your friends, your goals. Your happiness shouldn't depend on someone else. You should be content enough without a partner. They should complement you. They're the accessory. They're not completing you. They're not the outfit. They're just the add-on. They're just the add-on. You can love someone and still prioritize yourself. I think this is something so many of us forget. We forget about it. We get into a relationship. We get caught up in it. And it's so easy to put the other person before us. And it is important to like prioritize someone, but not over yourself. Yourself always comes first. Balance is so key in this situation. And lastly, I want to remind you that love should feel safe and healthy. Healthy relationships feel secure. They should not be fueled and filled with anxiety. You shouldn't be guessing how someone feels about you. It should be plain and clear as day. If someone likes you, they will make it known through their actions and through their words. You will know. Anytime that I have been unsure, I've been confused, that is your answer. When someone is unsure about you, that is your answer. That is your sign to walk away. And I'm going to reiterate this again. Respect is a non-negotiable. Your partner and your friends should uplift you, not diminish you. They should not be putting you down. They should not be making you feel bad about yourself. They should not be saying rude things to you. They should want the best for you, and you guys should be having the positive relationship where you're helping each other reach your goals, being the best version of yourself. If you are not the best version of yourself, if you are not feeling like you're becoming the best version of yourself with this person, if you are constantly stressed, it is not love, it is a lesson. Walk the fuck away. And while these relationships that end up being lessons can be really great for us in the end, break the cycle. Don't keep repeating the same cycle, the same pattern that is happening. You have every power to change it. If you find you have the same kind of circumstances that are happening with different people you are seeing that you are dating, choose this season of your life to finally break it. Acknowledge what is happening. Reflect what you have done in these circumstances. Like, has someone told you they're not interested in anything serious and you want something serious, yet you continue to see them hoping and waiting and you just stay? Has someone disrespected you and you continue to stay and let them have access to you instead of walking away? Have you not communicated your needs and then gotten upset and frustrated over it? Break the pattern. You can and you will. I have. I've broken it before. I'm continuing to break it. I'm continuing to work on it. Work on it in therapy, work on it with yourself. I love the book The Mountain Is You. When you're ready, this is how you heal, and The Pivot Year by Brianna Weiss. You guys know, I love them. This is the end of the episode, part 2 of your Hot Girl Spring Guidebook, focusing on friendships and dating mindsets. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That's how you can help support the pod. I love you guys so much, and we'll chat soon. Bye, guys.